So it's another very chilly welcome back to the channel, another chilly Lancashire welcome. But before we get into any landscape photography today, I'm very proud to announce that this video is sponsored by the wonderful Valerie photography gloves. Absolute honour. I love these gloves so much. Us outdoor photographers, we know the common problem of getting cold hands. Normal gloves, let's face it, just don't cut it. We end up pulling them off the hands anyway, and the hands get freezing. Best thing about these gloves, apart from their incredible build quality, is these finger caps that flip backwards and they lock into place with these little magnets. Really simple, but it allows us to still get full dexterity and to be able to use our camera gear, but crucially without compromising on warmth. These are the Markov Pro 2s. I've got another pair, I've got two pairs. The other pair are called Ipe suits, and I'd say they're my favourite. So yeah, if you want to bag yourself a pair, head over to photographygloves.com, that's their website. And to get free shipping, be sure to use the code HENRY at checkout. Top drawer, absolute privilege. So today, yeah, local again. I'm coming up a hill called Wharton Crag, which looms over the town of Carnforth. And you know what? I've never been up here in my life, not even for a little bit of a wander. It's one of them, you know, that I've just always wanted to. And today is the day. I must admit, it was forecast fog this morning, so this is a little bit of a plan B, I suppose. I wanted to be in the woodland, but I don't mind improvising a little bit. It's what landscape photography is about half the time, isn't it? Today I want to talk a little bit about something that I believe to be really important in terms of landscape photography, especially if you want to make it or make a little bit of a living out of it. You know, it definitely still applies to the hobbyist as well, because it's ultimately about trying to get the best out of your photography and trying to get the best possible photographs that you can get. So we'll get into that, but first let's go and explore. Oh, it is a chilly morning. Look at this, guys. Get a look there, off in the background. Fog. Fog off in the background. Probably only about 4 or 5 miles further around from the woodland that I wanted to get to. Fog where it was forecast. Little bit annoying, but at least we could see it from up here, you know. So let's talk about the topic that I wanted to get into in today's video. And I feel like I've got mud all over my face. I don't really know what to call this, but I want to use the word sacrifice. I think it might be a bit of a harsh word. The point will still stand. To me, this has been a it's been a recurring theme of my landscape photography over the past 3 to 4 years, and I would put it down as the most important in getting me to where I am now, i.e. doing this for a living. And what I mean by this, it could be plenty of things, but for example, making the effort to go on big drives to photogenic locations, making the effort to get out of bed at stupid times, you know, to go out and enjoy a sunrise, chasing fog, things like this, you know, being out on the side of a mountain at 10 o'clock at night in the summer to catch a sunset, and you've still got a 2-hour drive home and, you know, a 1-hour hike back down from the mountain. All these things to me are sacrifice. And look, I'm the first to admit I'm in a very privileged position. You know, I do this full time. I'm lucky. I get a lot of time to put into my landscape photography. For example, the fog there that I've missed out on this morning is winding me up just to look at it. But it's forecast fog for the next 2 days, so I'm going to make that effort and that sacrifice to go out and try and capture it in my local woodland. But that's the privilege that I have. But even when I was working full time, I still made these sacrifices, ultimately to be in the right place at the right time with my camera and give myself the best opportunity to capture nice photographs in the best conditions, or what I perceive to be the best locations. Of course, that is very subjective, but that's what I wanted to share, you know. And again, I'll say, like I said before, this even applies to hobbyists, because ultimately it's about trying to get the best photographs we possibly can, right? Images that we're proud of. But for me, you know, if we're talking about making it as a living, that's been the number one, 100%. Being willing, or having the willingness to make sacrifices for my photography. I'm going to put 3 images up on the screen here. The top 2 were taken in Scotland. When I look back at these images, I remember the sacrifice that I made. You know, several hour journeys each way, out in the rain, out in the cold, you know, wandering around locations that I didn't really know other than what I could see on my OS maps. Got 2 fantastic shots that I'm really proud of. The one at the bottom is from Helm Crag, just one of many sunrise hikes. I'm hiking up a mountain in the dark with my head torch on. And of course the drive there in the pitch black as well at stupid o'clock in the morning. Now, to get to my point, these 3 images that you see on the screen right now are my top 3 best-selling prints. And to me, that's a fantastic reminder of the importance of sacrifice and effort if you want to make something of your photography, or if you just want to start getting better photographs at the end of the day. And that would be my advice, you know. And I suppose it all depends on how much do you want it at the end of the day. It's the same as anything, isn't it, that you try to pursue. So yeah, sacrifice. Have a little think about that. So yeah, every time I look at that fog, it is just winding me up. But this is a stunning vantage point. We've got the most amazing panoramic views all over sort of Morecambe Bay. The light's fairly nice. It's still nice and subtle. It's one of those cold mornings where, I don't know, it's the first morning I'd say where it really feels like the beginning of winter. So I'm going to try and find an image, get myself set up. So, I don't know if you noticed there, guys, as well, but a Valerie hat as well. Just put the old lens cap in there. Oh, look at that! Top drawer! Oh, I'll tell you what, it didn't really take me too long to get set up. Like I just said, this is a hell of a vantage point. Now, what I'm trying to make the most of here is, you guessed it, the fog that I missed out on. Probably just to make myself feel a little bit better. But, in saying that, this is looking like a really nice abstract image on the back of my camera, and I think I'm going to be quite happy with this when I get it home. So I've got the 55-300 lens on the front of the Nikon D7200, of course, and I'm zoomed in at about 300mm, just under, so really far in. What I'm trying to make the most of here, obviously the fog, but we've got layers, which is something that you'll see me do a lot when I'm up high and I'm using my zoom lens. We're getting these hills that as they go further back, they get higher and higher and higher. In between each of them hills, in the valleys, I guess, we've got these thick strips of fog, and that's what I'm trying to capture. And because we're so zoomed in with the 55-300, we're getting that compression effect as well, whereby everything looks a little bit bigger. So I think it's going to be nice. One thing that I have done as well is I've picked out one little tree that's kind of protruding upwards a little bit higher than all the other trees that surround it, and I like it. I'm using it as a focal point and a little bit of an anchor for the image, and I've stuck him at the bottom right hand corner, the bottom right hand third of the frame. So you can see there how I'm still using the same compositional techniques as I would be if I was out, you know, on the coast down there shooting with a wide angle lens. I'm still trying to give the image a focal point, even though it's really abstract. So my settings are, it's gone off on the camera, but I can remember them because they were a little bit unorthodox. I've bumped my ISO up to 250 just to make sure that I get a quicker shutter speed of 1/160th of a second. Mainly just because I'm using this smaller Manfrotto tripod today. There's no wind, but I'm just doing it to be safe. When I magnify in on the LCD screen, I can see there's a little bit of camera shake. So I'd rather bump up the ISO and get a quicker shutter speed. It's something that I've been talking about a lot recently. And I've opened my aperture right up to f5.6, which is the widest I can go on this lens at this particular focal length. And that's, again, just to make sure I can get a quicker shutter speed. The aperture doesn't really matter too much because I'm so zoomed in. It's not going to bother me. So yeah, I think that's going to be quite nice. I've made some of the fog, top drawer. I might take another shot now actually. It looks like it's kind of, you know, when it's starting to lift a little bit, and I think it might be better, so I might take another shot. I might have this as a black and white, but I hate saying that because then I always feel pressured to show you a black and white image now. Generally speaking, I'm not a massive fan of black and whites, you guys know that. Nothing against them, it's just only on occasion do they really do something for me. But we'll see. I'm looking forward to getting that one back into Lightroom. I'll show you it now and we'll get set up again because there's plenty more opportunity for some nice photographs. So, just where we are here now. Oh, just there. See right at the end of that peninsula there? I'm taking a shot. There's no point in explaining it because it's pretty much exactly the same concept as the last one. The peninsula's jitting out into Morecambe Bay. We've got a few reflections from the outgoing tide where it's left a kind of pool. There's a few trees on the end. It looks really cool and abstract again, and because of the foggy, misty conditions, the peninsula's kind of jitting out into this nothingness of space, just like jitting out into white and greyness. It doesn't really make much sense, does it? I think it's going to make for a nice photograph, and that's the main thing. So, I'll tell you what, I'm going to be a bit audacious. The fog, it feels like the fog's moving this way. Like I said, the next 2 days I think is forecast fog, and even a couple of the forecasts are just saying it's going to be foggy all day. So I'm just going to take the risk. I'm going to head back down towards my woodland, see if I can get in some fog. This could be a silly move, but living the dream. So I'm currently en route back to the car. I must admit I'm not really expecting much. There's no fog yet. The wood that I'm trying to go to though, the woodland, should be a little bit further on into the fog, but we can only wait and see. It's probably not going to happen, is it? We can only try. Anyway, I wanted to talk briefly, just add something to the topic that I was on about before, about effort and about sacrifice. And this is so important, I have to say this, and that is this, you know, 90% of the time, even when you put in the effort, even when you make sacrifices, there will be no reward. So don't expect to go out tomorrow morning, you know, on a sunrise hike up like Scarfell Pike in the lakes or something, and just immediately be rewarded with a nice sunrise. Of course, that isn't how it works, but you have to enjoy the challenge. There has to be something intrinsic where you enjoy that challenge. You thrive off getting knocked down and trying again. You know, it might take 4 sunrise hikes before you get that beautiful light. And you know, I think that's one thing that's really, really important to accept, you know, not just remember, to accept that that's just the way it is. And of course that's the way it is, you know. If it was nice every single time we went out, we probably wouldn't continue doing it, would we? It wouldn't be particularly exciting. But yeah, I thought I'd mention that because it's really important. Right, I need to get back to the Red Beast and continue this ridiculous pursuit of fog that is not going to happen and is not going to succeed at all. It's another one of these. I'm putting in the effort now. There's probably going to be no reward. So that there is my woods. That was the destination. I'm not even going to bother because I can see from here that there is no fog. But it's been a cracking morning exploring somewhere new, and of course we've been out with the camera and we've put in the effort. So thank you so much for watching. Please give the video a like if you have a quick second, it always helps out my content. Don't forget, go and check out some Valerie gloves. I'll leave a link in the video description below. Use the code Henry at checkout to get yourself free shipping. Right, I'm going home. You guessed it, for a brew. See you on the next one. Out.